There's a harmonious dance that happens between you, your consciousness, and your creations. When you recognize that your consciousness needs to create and the creations you make fortify and support your consciousness, then you realize that the nature of manifestation and the things that you create are in fact the things that help support you along your spiritual journey when you see them from the point of view of being evidence of your mastery of manifestation, being evidence that you are God individualized as you. You have to recognize that the manifestation and the materialization of things that you have created are the blossoms, the fruit, right? The fruit of your consciousness. And just like any fruit, it has a seed. So when you bear a fruit, when you create a result, right? When you achieve something, materialize something, within that, there is evidence of something more. There is a seed within it that would allow you to be planted again to create something further. So this is why I say that nothing happens in isolation. The things that you materialize create seeds which will materialize more. So when you think back on life and you think back on big situations, big things that have happened in your life, even small things, you can always trace when something has happened and it is a result of something else that's happened before. Nothing just simply just happens. It is a result of something that happened previously. It is a result of the way you thought previously, what you did previously, right? And just like what you're doing right now will create and bear fruit and seeds for something in the future. And that's the point of why we are learning, inquiring, we're gaining knowledge along the spiritual journey, because we understand that that will bear fruit, right? And once we enjoy the blessings of that fruit, we then will take the seeds of that fruit and begin to move forward in our journey to grow more and bear more fruit. So as you go through life, recognize that the things that have gone and happened in your life were needed, right? And so as you have accumulated all of that knowledge to the present moment, recognize that everything that you do currently is going to add value and create more for the future. Now, we don't want to focus too much on the past or too much on the future, but we want to acknowledge the significance and the power of those concepts of time and recognize how important it is right now to be focused in on what it is you have decided to create. Because your decision to create is the decision that you make now. And what you do with that decision now is what's going to create the fruit that you are seeking to materialize, right? Now, we recognize that this dance of consciousness and creation is a dance that we can relate to time, right? You can say the platform is this concept called time. The platform which we are dancing on is this concept called time. And as we create in our consciousness the thing that we want, we have to play this game with time of allowing this physical realm to ultimately catch up to the creation materializing itself in the physical form. But ultimately, our consciousness has already created it. So this dance that you're playing is a tricky dance for a lot of people, because in one instance, you recognize that, hey, I feel, I recognize, I know I have this thing in my mind, and it is in the present moment. I'm feeling it. I'm doing what it takes to have it. I have it. I'm speaking in the now. I'm doing all the things to encapsulate the feeling of having it right now in my reality. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge by way of the ego that it really isn't happening right now. It really isn't in your physical hand right now. So this is where the dance gets really interesting, because you have to assimilate it in your mind. You have to live it in your mind and recognize that your mind is the true reality of all things, and acknowledge that through your mind, through your way of being, through your speaking, through your being, through what you're doing, will eventually, through the dance, right, through the process of time, will actually manifest the physical form of that thing. So that way you can feel it tangibly in your hands, right? So this dance is one of playing with holding it, feeling it, being it, and then actually materializing it. And once you come into owning it in your mind, being it in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, and it materializing, then you use the materialization of that thing to fortify you to create the next thing, just like you did this first thing. And then you continue on to progress, to evolve, to quote unquote materialize and manifest bigger things, even though the process is exactly the same. But in our minds, our ego has created these concepts of one is bigger, one is easier to materialize, where something else is harder to materialize, when in fact, materialization, manifestation is the same, no matter what it is that you are going to materialize. But recognize that this dance that happens, and recognize that it is normal, but you also must recognize that it takes patience, it takes trust in yourself to create this thing that you have accepted, you have created, you have decided, and that it is in your mind, it is in your body, it is in your emotions, it is in your spirit that you have this. And now you just have to simply wait and allow the universe, right, in all of this infinite wisdom, that though you have access to it, you still can't comprehend it, but you know it's there working for you. And then you allow that to just do what it does, and you just simply trust in the process and trust that it will manifest and materialize when the time is right for you. So recognize this dance and play with the dance. Enjoy yourself. Allow the dance to happen. Don't resist the dance. Don't fight the dance. Don't be frustrated with this dance. Simply enjoy yourself, be present, and allow it to happen. And when you allow it to happen, believe it or not, the materialization of the thing will happen way faster than you think. But more importantly, the materialization of the thing will reinforce what you know and what you understand about what your consciousness can do and will do and always is doing, because consciousness is always creating, right? So it will fortify the acknowledgement, right, from yourself, from even your ego, to realize who you are, so that way you can continue to be who you are and continue to create the things that you have decided to create in life. Thank you. And feel free to visit drabundant.com. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.